Nobody breaks down the numbers like this guy right here, EPJ, another episode of By the Numbers. And Eric, first let's go to last week's question, and we're talking about the Sty Hairston experience. The guy's piling up the touchdowns, trying to reach that 50 mark, which is a big plateau for high school football.
Yeah, you know, Sty Hairston last week added 5 more touchdowns to his total, so that's 34 in 8 games. So he's got a good shot, given Banning can make a deep playoff run to get into that 50-yard total, which is our area record. And the question last week was, which 2 players held that record? The first person who set that record, Terrell Jackson of Centennial in 2002, scored 50 touchdowns, and his eventual successor 2 years later, Brandon Miner, also scored 50 touchdowns in a game.
So if Banning can get to the playoffs and make a run out of it, maybe for Sty Hairston. All right, a guy who he won't score 50 touchdowns, but he can score touchdowns in every facet of the football game. Mr. Murrieta, Cravens.
Yeah, I mean, if there were 50 different ways to score a touchdown, I'm certain Cravens could possibly do that. You know, last week he did the trifecta, scoring on offense, defense, and special teams, and some very odd touchdowns as we saw in there. You know, there's no record book that has a category for shortest punt return for a touchdown, but I'm guessing Cravens might have it after his 20-yard punt return for a touchdown last week. But then he also got a spot in our record book a little bit later in the game, 102-yard touchdown return off an interception, which is the 5th longest touchdown off an interception in our area's history. And the record is 105, held by 3 different people: Dustin Oaks, Danny Foster, and Max Charlot.
Cravens can do it all for the Broncos. Now, moving on to my old stomping grounds, the East Yosemite League. The U, Tulare Union, and Porterville had a huge game. Tons of points in this one and set a state record in the process.
Yeah, you don't expect, 79 points in a game to be on the losing side, but, what a wild shootout up there in the central section. 86-79 final, and the 165 combined points set a state record for 11-man football for most points scored in a game. And the record that it did beat was the 144 points that Bloomington and Artesia set in 1994. Bloomington winning that playoff game, 82-62 over Artesia. And, the star of that game was Bloomington's Greg Oliver. I believe he scored 6 touchdowns, had 3 two-point conversions. And in that game, he ended up setting a state record at that point for points in a season. So, just some wild games. We're seeing more and more offense in high school football. So you don't expect to see an 86-79 game every week, but we're seeing more of those high scores every week.
And I believe that Porterville-Tulare Union game did not even go to overtime. This was in regulation, right?
Yeah, both of those games, the Bloomington-Artesia game and this one, both in regulation. I mean, that was the first question that someone asked me, how many overtimes did that go? And I was like, regulation there. So, and most of those points were scored in the half. Both teams were at 50 or more points at halftime. So definitely a high scoring affair there.
All right, moving on to Centennial. Quarterback Robert Weber has been perfect in the pocket when it comes to passing. Not a single interception so far.
Yeah, if you even go back to his freshman and sophomore years when he got, a little bit of playing time and mop-up duty, he's got 201 passes on the varsity level without throwing an interception. And, out here we're getting guys throwing one every 2 or 3 games, but this is now, I think, 15 games that Weber has appeared in the varsity level without an interception. So, that's what you want as a quarterback, especially in that Centennial offense, be able to manage that offense, keep it moving, don't turn the ball over. And that, no interceptions this year for Weber. Centennial's only turned the ball over 3 times all year. So definitely key to their offense right now is the fact that they are not turning the ball over.
Yeah, the turnover category always playing big in high school football and determining who wins games. All right, so we heard the news earlier this week. David Lassen broke it that Murrieta Mesa quarterback Chase Chambers out for the season with a knee injury. So what is that going to mean for Khalil Sharpe, as he's currently sitting on the record right now, but he's looking to go past the all-time receptions record in the area?
Yeah, Khalil Sharpe had been used to Chase Chambers throwing passes to him ever since their freshman year on the junior varsity level. So, but Khalil Sharpe right now tied for the area's career receptions lead right now with 179. But as we saw last week, Parker Erickson moving from receiver over to quarterback had a heck of a game, threw for over 300 yards as Murrieta Mesa got their first Southwestern League victory. So with 2 games to go, I think it's a safe bet that Khalil Sharpe will end up being the area's all-time reception leader. So, you know, I think he caught 6 last week from Erickson. So definitely in the mix there.
No worries for Sharpe. I'm sure they'll find a way to get him the ball. Okay, Eric, let's go back to that Porterville Tulare Union game real quick. Oliver, you mentioned, is approaching or had the scoring mark. Who was it? But prior to Oliver, right?
Yeah, after that game, you know, he scored, you know, the 6 touchdowns, 3 extra points. After the end of that game, 302 points to set the state record. Finished the season with 352. So my question of the week this week is, who held the area's scoring record for points in a season at 282 at the time before Oliver broke it with 352.
So he shattered it. He obliterated the record.
And it helped because Bloomington went for 2 points on every single touchdown. If I'm not mistaken, I'd have to check back in the record book. Greg Oliver had 41 2-point conversions that season.
Wow. Okay, any hints? We got any hints?
Not Toby Gerhardt?
Or Todd Gerhardt? Or someone in the Gerhardt family?
No.
All right, so next Tuesday we will be back. EPJ will break it down by the numbers, and we'll have your answer for who held the scoring record prior to Oliver. All right, I'm Pep Fernandez. That's EPJ. We'll see you next time.